Hello students, welcome to grade 12 biology. Today we are going to see lesson 5, which is the continuation of last previous lesson. And in this lesson, we are going to see and define carrying capacity, importance concepts. We are going to see impact of rapid population growth and development, and we are going to see measures that could be taken on control of population growth. But before we go to today's lesson directly, let's revise what we have seen in the previous lesson. In the previous lesson, we have seen the definition of population, and we have said that population are organisms of the same species living in an area, and there are factors that can directly influence population size. We have seen natality, mortality, immigration, and emigration, which are the 4 factors directly influencing population size. We have seen also other factors like biotic and abiotic factors, living organisms of the same species or different species, and non-living factors like temperature, light, carbon dioxide concentration, oxygen concentration, and physical space. This way, what we have seen in the previous lesson. Today we are going to see carrying capacity and other concepts of population again. Students, it is your turn to define what is carrying capacity. Very good. Carrying capacity of a population is the number that the environment is capable of supporting. The number of population that an environment can support is known as carrying capacity at a time. Number of environment is population, number of population that an environment is capable of supporting or carrying at a time is known as carrying capacity. This can be changed from year to year. In fact, carrying capacity can change from year to year. And in this case, if there is a year with lots of sunshine and rain, this encourages growth of grass, and you know that plants are producers, and these producers can directly or indirectly affect other consumers like sheep and other organisms, and this will make them they will obtain more food, and there could be more lumps of sheep than they normally would. So this carrying capacity can be less in an area or greater in an area based on the resource availability. So carrying capacity can change from year to year. When there is an increase in population size, this will need to be supported in subsequent years when there is a shortage. Environmental conditions deteriorated for a few years, the population could not be sustained and would fail. If there is always an environmental conditions that deteriorate, population size or population size will be negatively affected. Now let's focus on human population. We have seen that population are organisms of the same species living in an area. Let's see and human population growth. We have come from a population of less than 5 million thousand years ago to a population of 6.8 billion at the end of 2009, and now we do have around 8 billion. The population has been increasing particularly quickly over the years. Over the last 200 years, there is an increase of population, human population growth, because there is an increased quality and quantity of food availability, and this would have decreased the impact of disease-causing organisms, and the sanitation improved also, and medical care also improved. Because of this, population size and population growth increased for the past 200 years. However, this can have we can say that human population has increased for too much when compared to previous years. In countries with the highest population growth rate, the high growth rate is one of factor in preventing or slowing development. So population size has a direct relation with the development of countries. The sheer weight of numbers makes it is much more difficult to implement education programs, health programs, proper sanitation, and all similar measures. So these facilities and these sectors have directly related to population growth. So human population growth is subject to same checks as other populations. The various biotic as well as abiotic factors still influence population size. Generally, in the previous lesson, we have seen that biotic factors and abiotic factors can affect directly population size. The same is true to human beings. These biotic factors as well as abiotic factors, such as light, temperature, concentration of carbon dioxide, oxygen concentration, physical space, can have influence on human population also. Human population is subject again to other factors affecting the development. This includes the point at which particular country or region develops agriculture and industrialization. So from countries to country, from continent to continent, agricultural activities and industrialization are different. So this agriculture and industrialization also affects directly or indirectly the population growth. This affects growth rate, death rate, and life expectancy. These changes that we have seen are called demographic transition. Demographic transition, the stages of the demographic transition. Demographic transition is a model that seeks to explain transformation of countries from having high birth and death rates to low birth rate and death rate. Demographic transition is a model used by countries of having high birth rate, high death rate, and changing this into the low birth rate and low death rate, which is opposite of high birth rate and high death rate. If the demographic transition and the relative number of young and old people are changed, these are best shown in age pyramid. Age pyramid is used to show this demographic transition, and we can take an example from your textbook. Age pyramid of Afghanistan, USA, and Italy. And in Afghanistan, there is a large number of children or young age born, and the population is increasing. Whereas in the structure in the USA and in Italy are different. There are similar number of the age group until the age 60, around 60, and the number will decrease again. This suggests that the number of born are slightly greater than the number those dying and the population number are increasing slowly. There is a slow increase. This is true in developed countries. So Afghanistan is a developing country, and these two are developed countries. So the scenario in developing country and in developed country are different. When we come to our country, Ethiopia's case, the population of our country, Ethiopia, has increased and predicted by the structure of 2000. This is a population in million, and it is, you can see that it is increasing, but the rate of increase is slowing. And this is the prediction population of 2025, and the base of the new pyramid shows several age bands more or less have the same size, And this means if they have the same size, this is showing that there is no, this shows the population is not growing. Students, what we can do as one of our country to overcome this population, whether the global human population increase or decrease depends on balance between natality and global mortality. There are 4 factors that have directly affect or influence population size. Natality and mortality was 2 of them. So always there should be a balance between birth rate and death rate. Natality and mortality should be balanced globally. And the other 2 factors was migration and immigration. If there are no migration issues and we are not going anywhere, if population are not going from an area, or if population are not entering, if there is a balance on these 4 factors, so in mathematics it will be very simple. To reduce global population, mortality will increase. If mortality increase, this means do nothing option, and we can wait until the population crash and war is rife from competition for resources, because we are so far over our carrying capacity. Natality must decrease. This is the only option we really have, and we can control. We must control the number of children being born if we are to stop and run away population growth. At the moment, our country has one of the highest birth rate in Africa, but there are some hopeful signs that show that this issue is changing from time to time. It's progressing through the demographic transition, and it does so that there is death rate and birth rate will fall as more resources become generally available. There should be a balance between death rate and birth rate. If there is a balance, that shows the population growth will go constantly. In the meantime, it is essential that education regarding contraceptive methods and available to the people throughout Ethiopia, you have to educate our community. There should be several methods of contraceptive widespread. They have to be a limited protection against transmission of HIV/AIDS. It is very important and vital that the government makes available money resource as possible, as help local communities, particularly rural communities with sex education, access to contraceptive methods, gender education to enable students to consider other options in the future. All this together will help us reducing the rapid population growth rate. In addition, help the following will improve general health, which is usually associated with the low reproductive rates. These are education about diet and our feeding mechanism, our diet should be improved. Resources to improve the quantity as well as quality of crops grown should be taken, and stock reared in the rural community should be improved. So and there should be quantity as well as quality of crops should be improved. And this brings us to the end of today's lesson. We will wind up here. Until next time, goodbye.